Why is it so rare for me to find someone who understands me? The rare dream of being truly understood, a journey of empathy. For INFPs and Empaths, finding someone who truly understands us feels like an unachievable dream. But why is this? Perhaps it's because our standards for understanding go so deep, even though we often give up on those standards pretty quickly. INFPs and empaths yearn deeply for understanding, but they might learn to bury these dreams along with their expectations. Because time and time again, someone comes along who builds an intellectual or emotional connection that becomes sacred to the empath, until they somehow violate or invalidate that understanding. This person may emotionally or physically abandon the INFP without warning, signaling that the connection was not important to them in the first place. Every time this happens, whether with a parent, a friend, an authority figure, or a lover, the empath is hurt on an almost fundamental level and suffers deeply. So we protect ourselves by escaping inwards into our intricate worlds, often turning to the arts to make meaning out of our sometimes chaotic emotions. We drastically lower our expectations for people we befriend and become extremely selective in what we share. As a result, we might feel as if we're not close to anyone, because close means sharing in a space of unyielding support and truly unconditional love while having our boundaries respected and accepted. INFPs are most accepted in our society as children. We were seen as the protagonists of our favorite Disney films like Belle, Bambi, Aurora, Pocahontas, because children are still allowed to imagine in vivid detail how our dearest hopes become real. We are dream keepers and page masters, bastions of imagination and idealism. But as we grow into adolescence and adulthood, expectations shift drastically. We're expected to gossip, become practical, and seal away our deep emotions. We're expected to espouse empty positivity and protect contradictory values. We're expected to become enmeshed in the real world with all of its cruelty and calculated insanity. We all have to deal with these enforced reality checks as we enter adulthood, because that's how our societies prime us for a life of labor. So a combination of societal forces and personal intimate experiences almost always lead the INFP to soar like Icarus into the highest of hopes before we become disillusioned as our dreams come crashing down. We still covet the dream of being close to someone and feeling understood deep in our hearts. We wish for a connection that is enduring, receptive, anticipates and fulfills our emotional needs, and appreciates our genuine efforts to provide for those needs in others. An ally who never invalidates our emotions but seeks always to understand. Yet we know that even with our own selves, understanding and healing are lifelong, haphazard journeys. INFPs are particularly prone to depression and shame, especially in the context of emotional trauma. Shame is a doubting of our identity and self-worth. Shame goes deeper than guilt. Guilt is when you admit you made a mistake, but believe you can do better if you keep trying. Shame is saying, feeling, or believing, I am a mistake. I'm the problem. I'm broken. I always fail because there's something wrong with me. We are taught to hide or silence our unique perspectives and feelings, thus cultivating shame every time our authenticity clashes with the expectations laid down for us by the people around us. We often blame ourselves for not being able to express or advocate for what we need, leading to feelings of chronic dissatisfaction. We look for positive, supportive, healing relationships to teach ourselves how to rise out of our shame and truly appreciate and accept our self-worth. Accepting our self-worth is critical for achieving that feeling of closeness and being understood. You deserve to truly know, appreciate, and love yourself for who you truly are. Stop at nothing. Your reflective ruminations can be endless. Ground your feelings with your senses. Get perspectives from therapy and other intuitive feelers. Learn the strings you unconsciously attach when you try to trust, and follow the threads to find the roots. Forgiveness and compassion need to be turned back towards your wounded inner child. Our tendency is to dissociate, escape, or freeze when we are triggered or unsettled. Understand when and why this happens so you can catch yourself when you engage in avoidance. To stop avoiding your shadow, subvert yourself. That means humbling and countering your inner self-critic. This means harvesting your negative core beliefs and bringing them to light. This means creating and writing to explore your truths, no matter how painful or fearful they are. Remember that your truths are your compass, and they will always point you to your highest self. Work to know and accept your shadow self that you may have suppressed, abandoned, or rejected. When you face and understand your deeper, darker truths, something incredible will happen. You will see your own truths reflected in the world around you. You will feel your own body again. You will find gratitude even within the deepest disappointments. You will find the wordless ways in which the nature of the world understands you better even than yourself. And other people too. You will feel the small and implicit ways they can and do understand. You will be overwhelmed by the breadth and depth of this understanding and this oneness. You will radiate this understanding, channeling your brilliance. For understanding is not a trade or exchange. You can't give or receive true understanding. It's a meaning forged in tandem with feelings you choose to cultivate from a place of inner peace and inner harmony. Ask yourself, what makes me so unique, so esoteric, so ineffable, yet so unequivocally beautiful? What are my ultimate intentions in life?